Peace. Speak to you real briefly. I want to discuss the misappropriation of culture. And not only the misappropriation of culture, but also the misappropriation and excuse me. Let me take a step back. I want to deal with the misappropriation of culture as well as the rewritten history, the revisionist history, you know what I'm saying, which is a misappropriation of true history that's being exhibited, you know what I'm saying, in these days and times. You know, it's very important. I talk about history, right, as a tool for us to be able to deal with our future, because those who do not know their past are condemned to repeat the past. So the past is a very important thing. Now, at certain times, it doesn't benefit us to be in the past when we're in current situations and dealing with current things, and the past can't really aid us or help us at that particular point. But the past is still the past, and the past still has value. And for me, you know what I'm saying, when I think about it and I'm looking at what the Europeans are doing, the revisionists, the history revisionists and so on and so forth, by them actually trying to revise history, what they're doing is that they're removing their own guilt and other devilish ways in the revision of the history. You see what I'm saying? What they're trying to do is they're trying to remove karma or remove karmic debt from them. The reality is that the karmic debt can't be removed by simply revising history in books. So it is up to us, when we begin to see these types of revisions occurring, that it is up to us to debunk and destroy those revisions on sight. Because what happens is later on in life, if we don't debunk these things and correct them and do not allow them to take life, then we'll be able to save ourselves in such a way or we'll be able to preserve the truth of our history and our legacy. My thing is this: if you're not careful, Malcolm X will be a European in 100 years. Martin Luther King will be a European in 100 years. Marcus Garvey will be a European in 100 years. The Moorish Science Temple of America will not be that, and Noble Drew Ali will be a European in 100 years, and so on and so forth, if we ain't careful. This is what the revisionist history does. It rewrites the history on purpose to basically destroy any type of claims that you may have in reference to, dealing with your people and our people. You understand what I'm saying? So when we line this up right quick, I'm going to basically say that it's important for us to recognize our history, because that is the only thing that we have that belongs to us, that can't be tampered with, destroyed, or changed. But it can be if you don't know your own self and history and kind. So it is up to us to preserve our legacy and to preserve our history. But how do we do it? Well, we do it by, first of all, acknowledging our own, not what we have been conditioned to acknowledge, but we are going to acknowledge our own history, because we have to rewrite our history. See that the revisionists are rewriting the history? It's up to us to rewrite the history too. You understand what I'm saying? Whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. So if you take a look at us as a people, what's the science of our narrative? You know what I'm saying? And what's the science of the outcome? Look at us as a whole, and you will see that we're losing. And we're losing because we're not taking the lead on our own paradigms, on our own existence. We're not taking the lead. We're looking for others to bring to us that which we think we need. But the things that we think we need are what somebody is telling us we need. And when somebody tells you what you need, you really don't know for yourself what you need and how to use what you really need. Because see, somebody is telling you, you haven't examined your own needs per se. Because another person has built you up and designed you in such a way where you have become codependent on them. And it's the same thing with the revisionist history. We're becoming codependent on this history that they're rewriting, and they're trying to rewrite away their karmic debts and things of that nature. We have to hold them to their debts. You understand what I'm saying? We have to hold them accountable for their action. The sins of the father come back to haunt the children. We have to hold them accountable and make them responsible. You see what I'm saying? Caucasian European guilt can't be written away by changing history. You can suppress or hide the truth, but truth always manifests itself. You can't change or pass away the truth. So with that being stated, I just want you to, take a look at this misappropriation of history and how it can affect us and make it worse for us if we're not paying attention, because they're doing it on purpose. And we are allowing them to rewrite the history that we know because our ancestors experienced it. It's in our genetic makeup. We carry the memories. You see what I'm saying? So you can't allow them to write their karmic debt out. But in the same time, we just can't live in the past. We have to bring that up to date because the past does affect right now. And take a look at us right now because we're still suffering from the remnants of black codes and Jim Crow and so on and so forth. But if you don't know these things, you can't identify it, so you can't fix it. So let's take a look at this and let's revise and fix this back to our benefit. And if you are going to allow somebody to use you, let them use you to your benefit. Become a master at this. Remember, prisoners of war get free. So become tactful and pay attention. Peace.